The battlefield of Morvith. 7 burned red beneath twin suns. Smoke curled into the orange sky like the arms of the dead, and the moans of the wounded echoed across broken steel and cratered ground. Corporal Jonah Krell, Earthborn medic turned scavenger, should not have been here. He'd landed in the dead zone days after battle, hoping to salvage tech and maybe a clean water cartridge. What he found instead was a miracle or a mistake. She lay in a smoldering pit, her silver armor cracked and scorched, her weapon arm severed just above the elbow. But even half buried in ash and fire, she looked terrifying. An Adeli warborn. Jonah's heart pounded. The Adeli were taller than men, stronger than tanks, bred and raised in gravity-forged hives across the Delta clusters. They didn't retreat. They didn't surrender. And they didn't survive this kind of wound. Except she was breathing. Barely. He knelt beside her, shaking fingers pressing to the side of her long, bruised neck. A pulse, weak but steady. Her face was marked with glowing war tattoos, now dim with exhaustion. A single eye fluttered open, violet, burning with pain and fury. She tried to rise. No, Jonah said firmly, placing a hand on her chest. You're hurt. You won't survive another hour without help. Her voice rasped, thick with blood. Kill me. I am defeated, broken. End it. Jonah met her gaze. Sorry, lady. That's not how humans treat people who need help. He hoisted her over his shoulder with a grunt and trudged toward his buried med crate. She didn't speak much the first few days. Just stared at the ceiling of Jonah's battered shuttle while he patched her wounds, fed her protein broth, and changed her bandages. He learned her name from the ID plate embedded in her breastplate. Veilzora, war captain of the 4th Adeli Legion. When she finally spoke, it was to ask, "Why did you save me?" Jonah shrugged. "Because you were alive. That was enough. No human would rescue a warborn. We burned your colonies." "I'm not a soldier anymore," Jonah said. "I just patch up what's broken." She fell silent for a while, then said softly, "I am broken." "You're healing," he replied. Days turned into weeks. Veil regained strength rapidly, her alien physiology knitting muscle and nerve faster than any human could imagine. Jonah built her a prosthetic arm, crude but functional. She tested it without complaint. "You know battle tech?" she asked one morning. "I know how to keep things alive. Machines or people." She studied him with something unreadable in her eyes. "You risked your life to carry me from the pit. That is not a medic's instinct. That is a warrior's soul." Jonah scoffed. "I gave up on war. I'm done fighting." Veil stood, tall and towering now, recovered and majestic even in patched armor. "I am not," she said, "but I will not fight without you." Jonah blinked. "Wait, what?" She stepped closer, her eyes burning bright. "I owe you my life. But more than that, I have seen the strength in you, the courage. You do not just save. You defy. Even me." "You're serious?" She dropped to one knee, head bowed. Veilzora the Adeli, asked permission to fight by your side, to follow your judgment, to protect what you protect. Say the word Jonah Krell, and I will never leave your side." He stared, stunned. "You don't owe me anything," he whispered. She looked up. "That is why I choose to stay." Word of the Adeli's defeat had spread. Rogue war bands now tore through fringe colonies unchecked. One such war band soon descended on Haven's edge, the human outpost that Jonah used to call home. He could have run. But Veil stood at the bay doors, new armor gleaming, sword in hand. "You once saved me," she said. "Now I will save your people." Jonah looked at her, heart thudding. He felt it rising again, the fire he thought he'd buried. "All right," he said. "Then we do this together." The battle was brutal. The war band came with fire and plasma, but they didn't expect a lone human with combat drone traps. And Adelaide wore hero wielding a burning sword of light. Vale fought like thunder-given form. Jonah held the line with traps and precision strikes, guarding the wounded. She protected him like a living shield. And when the enemy's commander fell, split in two by Vale's blade, they fled. The outpost was saved. And Jonah? He realized he hadn't stopped being a soldier. He had simply forgotten why he fought. That night, as they sat near the fire, Jonah turned to her. You don't have to stay. You're strong enough to go anywhere. Vale shook her head. I already told you. I do not fight for flags anymore. I fight for those who value life. Like you. And what happens when there's no more war? He asked. She smiled, a rare, soft thing. Then I will follow you wherever you go, even into peace. Jonah looked at her hand, scarred, artificial, gripping as gently. Then stay, he said, not as a warrior, as a partner. She tilted her head, ancient tattoos glowing faintly. I accept.